The moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. Add some more. Yeah, Emery knows what it's all about. We're back at the St. Anthony's Club in Midland as I'm rolling down Midland Avenue after a long broadcast day. It will resume bright and early tomorrow morning after CBS Radio News at 5 a.m. Nick Ravel is here filming. Nick, slide in so they can hear these gentlemen. Please, Michael, introduce your full name to the audience, please.
Michael B. Mushy.
And this is Emery?
Emery White.
Emery is back in Midland now. How long have you been back?
8 years.
All right, and you were where before you came back?
I was in Northern Virginia for 38 years.
Well, one thing is for sure, you can take a person out of Midland, but no matter where they go, Steeler Nation always a part of who they are. And speaking of Steeler Nation, Nick, get a tight shot down there, number 20 in your heart and in that Steelers program. He and Franco, all of the Super Bowls, all of the memories. He's the Rock, as in Rocky Liar. So there you have it. And Emery's going to tell you right now what they're going to be doing with that jersey. Emery.
We're offering $5 tips, and the winner's going to be drawn on Super Bowl Sunday at halftime. $5 a piece, and the winner need not be present.
So you graduated, what, 75?
75.
So we're the same age. Michael, you from the Midland?
Yep.
What year did you get out of school here?
2000. I went to Hopewell. 2007.
All right.
2006.
Where do you live at here?
600 O'Hara Avenue.
What do you do for a living?
Lawn business.
What is it?
Lawn business.
Lawn business. I have some property you need to come and take a look at. Obviously, you're a Steeler fan.
Yep.
Let's talk about the Steelers moving forward. Is Kenny Pickett the future?
I don't think so.
Why? One or 2 years. Come on, man. He's a young guy. Give him some time.
He's a little cocky a little bit.
A little too cocky for you? You want Rudolph to stay?
I think we need a fresh quarterback out of the draft.
You really want to go for one? You know what they're talking about. No relation. Doesn't have an E on the end of his name. Michael Pratt out of Tulane. So he's 6'3", 220, got a nice arm. So maybe they may have to, and because of what they're paying Pickett with that rookie deal, they got a little cash flow. Omar Khan can make it work. Najee Harris moving forward, new offensive coordinator. Do you think we'll start seeing more of Najee? Will they start featuring him, especially if they go after Mims in the first round, who's the other big tackle who played with Broderick Jones when they were both playing at Georgia? So do you think Najee still has a lot of shelf life left in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you, talk about the Super Bowl in just a minute. But I want to talk about you growing up in Midland a little bit. Obviously in the 70s, the Mills was still booming. Crucible was still 5,000 strong.
Very much.
But what did the Steelers do of the 70s for us, Emery, growing up? I'm the same age as you. Everything, right?
Everything. We had a saying growing up, and to this very day, cut me, we be black and gold.
No doubt. This town, you still love it. What's this club mean to you, St. Anthony?
It means everything to me. When I first came back, I wanted to put everything I could into this club to turn the club over to the next generation the way it was turned over to us from our parents and grandparents.
All right, here's what I want to ask you. So, you know, the whole Yinzer thing, right? Everybody knows about the Yinzer thing. But the reason I loved Midland so much, because of all the people that I knew, and of course a guy who's no longer here is Tony Silly. What is it with this lingo, this kind of swag, this voice? Here, I hear it coming out of you. There's just something about the confidence.
We were a proud group. As a town, we were a proud group. I had the pleasure of playing baseball with Tony 4 years in school and American Legion ball, and man, not only an amazing athlete in football and baseball, but great personality. Tony put on this fake bravado that people didn't realize. If you got to know Tony for who he was, he had the biggest heart of anybody you'd ever want to meet. But nah, just in general, sports-wise, Midland, no. Everybody, all the way down to the grandkids, just bled black and gold. I'm sorry, bled blue and gold.
But on Sundays it was black and gold.
Yeah, it was Sundays, black and gold. But all the Midland sports teams, just, just phenomenal.
Well, let me take it one step further, because these things that I do are more than just sports, more than just news. It's about community. That's what the St. Anthony Club is all about. And they got a big bash planned for Valentine's Day. Toby Atkins, best mayor anybody could ever have. If I lived here, she'd get my vote, as I've said time and time again. You're never going to have a harder working person in public offices doing more to move a community forward than Hubie Atkins. Absolutely love her. But this is what I loved about Midland when I was spending time with Tony in the 80s and beyond. There was no color barrier. Blacks and whites got along just as though they all came from the same parents, the same community, the same neighborhood. And I remember going to the clubs from the VFWs to the VIPs to all of these places in between, dancing with people of all races, all religious beliefs, all colors. And one of the things that Tony taught me, and I have taken with me to this day, and I picked this up from my father who worked in a mill not too far from here. He grew up in Missouri, so he was surrounded by prejudice and all the things that were going on. There was no color barrier. We were all one. We were all united. And I remember dancing with people of color and having fun, and I never saw anything but a human being. And I'm going to tell you this, whether you believe it or not, and everybody out there, one of the people who taught me about embracing people just because of who they were and not the color of their skin was Tony Silva.
So true. When we were growing up, from early elementary school until the time I graduated, I never gave it a second thought until I became an adult and got further on in life. And that's when I realized that we never noticed skin color. I had a classmate of mine that we went to elementary school at 4th Street School, which is on 4th Street and Ohio Avenue. And I used to go pick him up for school every day. I never realized at the time. He had a brother and 3 sisters, and I would go up there and his mom would cook us breakfast before we'd go to school. I never realized until I was probably 30 years old that I was the only white person in the whole room. But
that's America. That's who we are.
They never realized it, but they treated me like I was one of the kids. And that's the way our family was, and most of the families in Midland. We never noticed skin color. It was about the size of your heart, not the color of your skin.
That's why I love places like the St. Anthony Club, because it's an eclectic group of people from all walks of life, all religious beliefs, all races. They come here, they congregate, they celebrate. And there's this resurgence going on here because of many people. And I can't thank Nick Ravel for getting me back down here. We're going to be doing a lot of things moving forward because it's about who we are. But it's about people like Mike over here, much younger than us. It's our age and a little older and a little younger. People coming up, those that are in their early 20s. You have to have that recipe, that secret sauce that you get at a place like this so people can understand where we were, where we are, and where we're headed. Right, Emery?
Yes. Can't say it any better than that.
All right, now let's talk about this big game coming up. Depending on where you're looking at the betting line, and you can make a legal sportsbook bet at Mountaineer, you can make one at Prescal, you can make one at the Meadows, you can make one at the Rivers Casino. Who do you like in this football game? We're a little over a week away. And by the way, Ed Shewak Distributing, that's where the Miller Lite comes and all of the libations. So we want to thank Eddie and his daughter Allison for what they do in Rochester here. All these places of these establishments, but especially the St. Anthony Club in Midland. So how do you like this game, and who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be a great game for all football fans. Can't say enough about Patrick Mahomes, but this young kid for San Francisco.
Why not him? You never know.
No, why? No, that's a good. No, why not him? He plays like someone that's got ice water flowing through his veins. Nothing. The stage is never too big for him. A great talent, and once again, he's known as the 7th round draft pick.
Last player taken.
I can't remember what the nickname is for that, but no, why not him? I would have loved to see Detroit in the Super Bowl.
Me too.
I would have loved to see them win it because they've come back a long ways. They've had a lot of great talent on that team and never even got there. But this is going to be a great game for any football fan. I would love to see Purdy and San Francisco win, but I would, no matter what the turns out to be, it's going to be a great game, and both teams deserve to win.
Here's what you have to also remember. Lincoln Park, where these young performers are doing what they're doing every day, guess who came from a school just like that? None other than Usher, who's getting ready to perform on the biggest stage ever, that Apple Music halftime show. Michael, back to you. This game, right now, depending on how you look at it, I still think, because of all the weapons that Frisco has, much more than Mahomes, who can carry a team on his back. I think this thing, walking up to kickoff, the line is going to go back and forth. Who do you like in this football game?
Kansas City.
Tell me why.
Well,
Besides Patrick Mahomes.
well, they got more playmakers on that team.
That we haven't really talked a lot about because of Patrick Mahomes. Then you got Pacheco, who can run, very intense player. And when Tyreek Hill left, as I was saying earlier tonight, everybody was panicked. And I think that was one of the reasons why they had such a slow start, no matter what they want to say or not. But Rice steps in, and he steps up that game, going that deep threat, fly patterns down the field. But you got Travis Kelce, who I think, even though some say he is going to retire, if he would retire today, it's between him and Rob Gronkowski, the greatest tight end to ever play. And you've got Ditka from Aliquippa, John Mackey, who played for the Colts, Heath Miller, who played for Pittsburgh. So there's been some great ones along the way, but you can never, ever not count Travis Kelce out. This guy, when he decides, like he did against Baltimore, he was 11 for 11. I mean, you can't get any better than that. And he and Mahomes have really teamed up for 15 postseason touchdowns. That ties Gronk and Brady. So I still believe you got to give the edge because of Kelce more so than Mahomes. Mahomes is great, but Kelce is still a major factor. All right, before I say goodnight here at the St. Anthony Club, talk about this club a little bit, the food, the camaraderie, and of course the libations and a place to come and just, you know, talk about your problems and try to solve the problems that everybody else is dealing with, right?
The problems are becoming fewer and fewer. Everything about the club is starting to grow and it's starting to put it back the way that it used to be back in the old days. The dinners we have here, and like you mentioned, Mayor Pubby, that cooks for us some of the best food you could get anywhere.
Yep.
The dinners the crowds are getting bigger and bigger. We're starting to have live entertainment here now. We had an Albert release party around the first of the year last year upstairs, and it was open to the public, and what a great crowd we had. We're trying to do everything we can to not only turn the old school part of the club over to the new generation, but make it the best bar in the area. The thing we're trying to do with the entertainment is everything else. The first question we asked ourselves, and we talked about during the officers' meetings and the board meetings, was why not Midland? When it comes to entertainment, everybody's so used to going up the valley to Beaver Falls and
beyond.
And beyond, right. And I said, why not here? Why not the St. Anthony Club? We have a great facility. We have a hall right here that holds 100 people. We have a hall upstairs that holds 500 people. And it ties the modern times in with the old school decorations and the architecture and everything. But why not Midland? We're right on the Ohio border, Chester, and we're starting to advertise all over Beaver County, from Hookstown, Georgetown, Shippingport, all the way up to Beaver Falls and New Brighton, Brighton Township, Monaco, Rochester, and we're starting to see more and more people come from around the valley to come here and once they get here, people that have never been here, once they see our facility that have never been here, they say, oh, I'm definitely coming back. The food is amazing, the bartenders are amazing, and what a great place for entertainment.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your mom and dad. Obviously, our age group, I'm sure they're gone by now. But
yes.
Tell me a little bit about your mom and dad, and where actually in Midland did you grow up?
I grew up about a block from here on 6th Street and Penn Avenue. My mother, her parents came over from Italy. My grandfather passed away. I had never met him. He passed away around 61 years old. My grandmother lived with us for most of our lives. She was blessed. She got to live. She was 92. Telling me, when I was 10 years old, I'm going out to play football. She said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to play football with my friends. She took the football off me and said, you're not going nowhere until you learn how to make a sauce and the meatball. I was 10. I was like, Mom, and she said, listen to your grandmother. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. My dad was born in Cumberland, Maryland, and he was in the Navy, veteran of World War II and Korea, Purple Heart. Came up here to get a job in the steel mill, after he got out of the Navy. And my mother lived down on Midland Avenue. My dad had to walk down Midland Avenue to go to work. And my mom was on the porch, and one thing led to another. And they got married. And
those porches in Midland can be a little dangerous. You start holding hands, next thing you know, you're walking down the aisle together.
yeah, but Grandma always looked out for my mom.
I can't thank you enough. This is what I love about the club. It's young and old alike. It's a little bit of everything. It's just like that secret sauce. And don't forget, St. Anthony Club. I love it. And if it wasn't for the girls of his class, I'd have never learned to dance, because no one danced like they did. And no one parties like they do here at the St. Anthony Club. Become a social member, young and old alike. Get a part of that recipe in your life. You'll be better off for it. And don't forget Valentine's Day. Stay plugged into them. Going to be a big day kicking off the Lenten season and more. And remember, there's nothing but pure love here for all of you from the St. Anthony Club in Midland. It's your Pratt Pack. Good night. Jean Don, ciao.